Welcome back to RealAg Radio. It's now time for our weekly Rocky Talk segment, which is brought to you by Rocky Mountain Equipment. Rocky Mountain Equipment, dependability is what we do. Find out more information at rockymtn.com. And joining me right now is Stephen Gillis from Rocky Mountain Equipment. Stephen, how's it going?
Very well, yourself?
Very well this morning. Hey, Steve, what do you do at Rocky Mountain Equipment?
I'm one of the precision tech supports, so it's an ag optimization specialist position. And my role is essentially making sure that all of the technology on the farm works well together. And then when a guy purchases a new piece of equipment or a new piece of technology, everything integrates and he's able to perform the job that he wants to with that piece of equipment.
Well, today we're going to talk about ISO product control, and I'll start off right at the top by asking, what is ISO?
ISO is simply just an industry standard, so that the goal is that every ISO piece communicates with everything else. And we're getting better. We're not there 100% yet. But essentially, if something is ISO or ISO compatible, it should be able to speak with another ISO compatible piece of equipment.
Okay, and where is this ISO commonly used?
A few years ago, it wasn't commonly used across the industry. It's been on CNH carts for a long time now. But in the past couple of years, we're seeing a much higher adoption rate. We're seeing it in height control. We're seeing it on our CNH sprayers using ISO's control system. And so product control, height control, those are the main places where we're seeing it right now.
So can you give me a little bit of better understanding of what aftermarket options this provides us? Yeah,
so the main push we're seeing on aftermarket options are on fertilizer applications. So for guys doing liquid fertilizer or doing anhydrous applications, we can put an ISO compatible module onto their drill or onto their toolbar, and that will control their control valves, their on-off valves, and that'll do your rate and section control for you. And you're able to then use any ISO-compatible display. You're not tied to any one particular machine or any one particular brand.
So Stephen, what do I need to run an ISO product control system?
So it starts with the ISO product node, so the actual brain box that does all the thinking. From there, you really just need some harnessing that goes into your machine, and you need an ISO-compatible display, and then you're going to need usually you need an unlock or a task controller unlock on there to then interface with it. So if it's a Pro 700, Intel V4, FM 1000, Trimble 2050, all of those displays are ISO compatible, but you do need that unlock on there to talk to that module, and then they can communicate with anything they're hooked up to. Okay, so is there any compatibility concerns at all with these ISO systems? Yeah, so the goal is that they all are compatible and they all work together, but that's the goal. We're getting a whole lot better, but we do run into a few issues mostly going cross-brand, and they're the exceptions, not the norm. But I know we did deal with the system a year or two ago where we had rate control, so we can control the rates, but we couldn't do section control and we couldn't do variable rate because that information wouldn't pass back and forth across the brands. So it's just something to talk to your dealer first before you make a commitment to confirm that it will work the way you expect it to. Okay, so if I'm considering this option, what are some of the main benefits then that I should be putting under my hat? Definitely a whole lot simpler, and they're easier to roll forward. So let's take you've got an operating liquid fertilizer as part of your seeding package. You have an ISO system controlling it, and all of a sudden you make a change in your tractor. So normally you've got to move all that equipment over, you've got all these control modules, you have all this technology. With an ISO system, as long as the next tractor has that unlock, you just plug it in and you're ready to roll. All the configurations, all the calibrations are stored on the module, so it's very, very easy to change tractors, whether it's intentional with something like a trade, whether it's unplanned where all of a sudden you need that tractor for a different application, or maybe the tractor breaks down and you've got a loaner or a rental unit out there. It just makes dealing with those changes and your forward compatibility a whole lot simpler than having that ISO option available. How long has this been out in the market? Over 10 years would be my thoughts, but it hasn't been as common as it is now. It's getting better. More and more guys are becoming compatible, and it's definitely gaining traction. It's a whole lot easier to do today than it was even 5 years ago. Hey, Stephen, this has been awesome. Very, very interesting stuff. Thank you very much. All right, thank you for your time. That is Stephen Gillis with Rocky Mountain Equipment. For more information, you can go to rockymtn.com. We'll be right back on RealAg Radio right after this.